Coming up, we're talking victories for Jacob Allen, CJ Leary, Tyler Erb, and Gregg Satterlee, plus issues for Kyle Larson and other weekend winners. Let's roll. Today is Monday, April 11th, 2022. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. We're back at it today after a long weekend at Martinsville doing that day job thing. It was another weekend wrought with weather-related cancellations across the country, but there was still plenty of big-time dirt racing to be consumed if you were so inclined. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series did lose their Friday night show at Tyler County to weather, but they did get to race Saturday at Hagerstown and Sunday at Port Royal. With both Devin Moran and Brandon Shepard racing with Lucas both days, we knew we'd leave the weekend with one of them atop the standings, even though neither is racing full-time with Lucas this season. Devin Moran doing a pick-and-choose schedule, and obviously Brandon Shepard running full-time with the Outlaws. And that was true. We did have a change atop the standings. Moran entered as the points leader, but Sheppy leaves at the top. Eventually, though, these two will go their separate directions, and that will leave the fight to the Lucas regulars, which right now, still very early on, seems to be Tyler Erb versus Tim McCready. Ashton Winger, Ricky Thornton Jr., Earl Pearson Jr., and Hudson O'Neill are also in the mix, but the top two have separated themselves a bit after this weekend. At Hagerstown on Saturday, it was all Tyler Erb. He was overall quick time, won the first heat race, started on the pole, and led all 50 laps, basically unchallenged for the duration. It was his first win of the season, but he's been really solid up to this point with Lucas. 13 top 10s in 15 races, along with 7 top 5s. He's also got an average finish of 7.4. All of those are improvements over the previous year. McCready finished second in that race, Gregg Satterlee third, Kyle Hardy fourth, and Devin Moran kept his top 10 streak alive with a 5th place finish. I tweeted on Sunday before Port Royal that Moran had top 10s in all 14 Lucas races to start the year, and even though I hashtagged it not a jinx tweet, I think it was, he finished 12th at Port Royal after starting 15th and thus ended the streak. That's really my bad there. What do you do there, though? Like, you want to point out that he's on a streak, but you don't want to jinx him. It's like the announcer's jinx, right? So it's like, 6-1, half dozen the other. You want it to continue, but you want to point it out, so I'm not really sure what to do there. Out front on Sunday, though, we got a Kyle Larson late model appearance following a not-so-great 19th place run on Saturday night at Martinsville in the Cup car. He started second in the Rumley 6 and led the opening 25 laps, but things got interesting after that. Pole sitter EPJ chased him throughout those first laps, and on lap 26, he made his bid for the lead into turn 3. The two ended up making contact, and Larson spun out of turn 4, causing a caution. Both drivers ended up in the work area. Larson returned to finish 15th, while EPJ appeared to have maybe suspension damage, and he was done for the day. Afterwards, EPJ said he actually hit the inside wall. Larson kept pushing him lower and lower, which caused him to hit the wall, and then he pushed up and then made contact with Larson. And the contact with the 6 broke his steering rack when they hit wheel to wheel, so that's why EPJ was done for the day. That handed the lead on the restart to Gregg Satterlee, and he drove away over the final 15 laps to grab his 3rd career Lucas win and first since 2018. Satterlee started 6th, and I think even if Larson and EPJ didn't tangle, the 22 would have been in the mix for the win late in that race. He was really fast coming up through the top 10. Bishop, McCready, Jimmy Owens, and Erb completed the top 5 on Sunday. The wins by Erb and Satterlee push us to 8 different winners in 15 Lucas races so far for the year. So with these two races in the books, Bishop is your Lucas points leader by 15 over Moran. Erb, McCready, and Owens complete the top 5. We won't see the Lucas late models again for a few weeks. Their next race is at Tri-City on April 29th. The Outlaws are also off this weekend, so if you want some late model action coming up, make sure you find either the Spring Nationals, the MLRA, the Ironman Series, and some of the other local and regional stuff coming up this weekend. We were supposed to get the opener for the Flow Racing Night in America Series tomorrow at Eldora, but that event has been pushed back to April 29th because of weather. I think, no, not April 29th, April 26th maybe. Anyway, pushed back a couple of weeks because of weather. Go make sure to check the date on that one since I don't have it right in my notes. So not off to a great start for the Flow Series as well. They were actually wrought with weather cancellations last year as well. Larson's late model show is happening this coming Thursday, though, in advance of the Bristol weekend. We'll get more into that later in the week as well. On the open wheel side, the World of Outlaws and Extreme Outlaws were also victims of weather. They lost the Friday night show at US 36 Raceway. We did get to see them on Saturday, though, at Lake Ozark Speedway for the Jason Johnson Classic. On the non-wing side, we had a pretty big field of cars. We had 34 cars eventually take part. That included some USAC regulars. There's some guys in there committed to Extreme, some locals, and then even a guy like Alex Bright towed all the way from Pennsylvania to race with the series. I think with Extreme being new and the recent tire testing issues with USAC, there's definitely some momentum right now for this new venture from World Racing Group. In the feature, we had 3 different lap leaders in CJ Leary, Brady Bacon, and Robert Ballou. Ballou was light at the scales after his heat race win and had to come from 17th at the start. He led 4 laps, but eventually settled for second. After Leary led early from the pole, he actually fell back through the field. I think he was 4th at one point, and Bacon looked like he was probably on his way to the win. But with 7 laps to go, we saw a rare Bacon mistake as he got loose into turn 1 and spun out. On the restart, Ballou was the beneficiary, but Leary was on his way back to the front. He took the lead for good on lap 27 and earned his second Extreme win in 3 races. Ballou, Shane Cochran, Matt Westphal, and Jason McDougall completed the top 5. McDougall was in the Keith Coons sprint car. With 3 of 14 races complete, Leary leads Ballou and Cochran in the standings. Up next for the Extreme Sprint Cars is another trip to Lake Ozark in June. The midgets of the Extreme Outlaw Series open in May at Millbridge. With the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, we had 2 guys battling for the win that night that we probably didn't expect to do so at the beginning of the night. Officials shortened the feature to 30 laps from 41 because of track conditions. We had some good racing in the heats. That's not often a good sign for later in the night, though. In the non-wing feature, there were some tire wear issues, and that continued into the wing portion, although I don't think it really affected the quality of the race or the quality of the finish we got to see. We saw some good action, even with the track taking rubber early on, especially in turns 3 and 4. Jacob Allen started on the pole and led early, but Brady Bacon, who did double duty, was in the mix, and those 2 officially swapped the lead 4 times. Inside 10 to go, the 21 of Bacon was out front, and it felt like if he could just keep his right rear tire under him, he was in a great spot for the win, but Allen had other ideas. With 3 to go, Allen made a big move into turn 1, muscling past the Macho Man on the bottom side and taking the lead. Bacon maintained second after the contact, but his time up front came to an end with a white flag in the air. The right rear came apart on that machine, which led to a 17th place finish. Out front, Allen drove away to his second career win with Spencer Baston second, David Gravel third, Logan Schuhart fourth, and Brad Sweet completing the top 5. The win for Allen was his first since Dodge City in September of 2020, and he told Chase Rodman afterwards that he feels like he's known as Mr. Nice Guy, but he just couldn't run second again. Definitely some aggression from the 1A we haven't seen from him in the past. We've talked about Jacob on the show already this year, and he definitely is driving like a different guy. I would have called you a liar if you told me before the season that the first Shark car to win an Outlaw race in 2022 would have been Jacob Allen and not Logan Schuhart. The win was Allen's 3rd top 5 finish this season, which matches his top 5 count from the entire 2021 year. He's in the top 10 in the standings, and I would not be shocked to see him win again, especially with what we've seen so far. In the championship fight, Sweet maintains a 40-point lead with Gravel back up to second now and Macedo back to third. Gravel and Macedo kind of keep swapping that second position. Sheldon Hodenshield is 4th, while Donnie Schatz lost more ground, and he's 110 points back in 5th. The World of Outlaws are headed next to the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely, Missouri. They race on Friday and Saturday night this week. Out in California, we lost an ARC 410 show at Hanford because of high winds, but we did get 360 shows at Ocean and Placerville. On Friday night at Ocean, it was Chase Johnson getting the win over Blake Carrick and Bud Kading. Kading led a bunch of laps, and those 3 were in a pretty good fight for a lot of that race. Tanner Carrick had won 2 straight there, but he ended up spinning out and racing his way back to 9th. At Placerville on Saturday, we got Shane Golubic versus Justin Sanders. Sanders was in that Works Limited 57. He threw a Hail Mary slider at Golubic with 7 to go and took the lead because Golubic had to get all over the binders to avoid crashing the 57. Sanders drove away to the win with Tanner Carrick second and Golubic third. Just give me all of those California bull rings just straight to the veins. I love that racing out there. In central Pennsylvania, the Friday show at the Grove was canceled. That left Lincoln and Port Royal on Saturday. At Port Royal, Logan Wagner won again to go back-to-back. He topped Anthony Macri. And at Lincoln, Buddy Kofoid broke through in the Indy Race Part 71 to get his first win at the track. He earned $6,900 and topped Freddie Raymer and Danny Dietrich. Another weekend, late model action, Bobby Pierce and Johnny Scott were MLRA winners at 81 Speedway. Zach Mitchell swept the Ultimate Southeast weekend at Carolina and Lakeview. And Randall Beckwith was a $10,000 crate winner at Greenville. Drop me a comment below. Let me know your best and worst from the dirt racing weekend. We'll keep this up kind of like we did last week. Winners, losers, crashes, whatever is on your mind from the dirt racing weekend. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. The only thing on the streaming schedule today is Flow Racing 24/7. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. Have a good Monday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.